you're kind of getting commissioned to go around Taiwan sometimes and perform.
As a freelance artist, of course, we look for the projects that we have a passion for, and at the same time, we have to balance actually earning a living.
Right.
That's life, right? Many of us would go into corporate work, for example. So yes, on Sunday I was down at Sun Moon Lake at one of the hotels there and was performing at a company dinner. I brought in a Taiwanese singer, Lin Ziyin, who's a fantastic soprano singer, crossover musical theatre opera. We created an hour show.
Oh, wow. You're creating a full show.
Oh, well, so it was a string of songs, some of them by request. Some that were Mandarin and some were Taiyu. I learned a few songs, tried them out, and they were very understanding. Let's put it that way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.
Hello, 大家好，欢迎各位再度来到 NG 英文，我是 Angela.
We have a great episode for you today with my good friend Paul, who's known around the performing arts community as Paul Whiteley.
是的，今天我们非常幸运，多亏John让我们邀请到了才华洋溢的前歌剧魅影主唱保罗·怀特利 Paul 到节目上跟各位听众朋友们做分享。
My guest today is from Australia. However, he has been living and performing around the world for the majority of his life. He is known as the triple threat in performance art, meaning he is a singer, a dancer, and an actor.He is also a part of the Crossroads community, helping to increase awareness and fun opportunities for the performance art community here in Taiwan. He is a kind soul, a curious being, a lover of the world, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome my good friend, Paul.
Thanks, my friend.
What's up, my man?
Man, it's post-performance relaxation is probably the best way to put it. I was just recently down in Sun Moon Lake on the weekend with a gig, so I'm taking it a little bit easier today.
Oh, I love it. I'm grateful that we get to catch you because your life in Taiwan and really the world is so fascinating, so beautiful, and I can't wait to try to catch a few little buckets of what you're up to. But I was hoping you could kind of start off, welcome to NG Ingwen, first of all.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Yeah, man. And could you give a little kind of self-introduction to our audience here?
Yeah, sure. First came here in 2014 with the Phantom of the Opera,歌剧魅影, I believe is how it's pronounced. Sorry for my pronunciation if the tones are bad. We'll get to that. We were on a world tour, and this is for the 25th anniversary of the show, and this was the Asian leg that I was involved in. So got a great introduction to Asia in general, and certainly North Asia, and then, of course, in particular, Taiwan, which I fell in love with, as many of us do. And I, at that point, was looking for somewhere to set up, really, and decided that I wanted to do that in Taipei. Came across the Gold Card program, which gave me the opportunity to stay here and work basically as an entrepreneur or a freelancer. So successfully applied for that under Arts and Culture. And that was in 2018 by the time I was able to obtain that. And so there we go from there. So ever since, I've been going back and forth between here and Australia. That's my home, in case anyone didn't pick up the accent. And doing tours, musicals. I work in musicals mainly. But I do have a background in rock and roll, a cappella, some opera. But I also have sort of a technical background. I do a bit of theatre producing, bit of investment, bit of directing, concerts and musicals. I like to put my fingers into lots of different pies to keep it interesting. And also now certainly in Taiwan have been involved previously indirectly, but now directly some ways with the 2030 bilingual project. So education in language and communication is something that's come into my life in the past 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, man. Love it. And so cool because, like you said, so many hands in different pots, fingers in different pots. Fun little phrase right there. But yeah, mostly focused around the performing arts.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so musicals and theater and doing both sides of that. Kind of now you're a performer by love, right? You're a rock and roll guy, as we talked off air, and played in some great bands back in Australia.
Yeah.
And now fell in love with theater and performing and singing. And now you're kind of in Taiwan doing all cool stuff. So where do we even begin, my friend?
Yeah, well, with Taipei and Taiwan, I live here in Taipei. And I guess officially have done so since getting my residency. And I was really looking at what I can do to help develop the performing arts here, and came across the bilingual project as well, and was quite interested in that very ambitious challenge and objective, and decided that I wanted to try and bring the two together. So I've run summer camps in the past for children and young adults, and started doing a few of those here in Taiwan. I've done them in mainland China and also in Australia, and combining performing arts, basic like foundational performing arts techniques with English language learning, and actually exploring how to use the language itself as a communication tool, because, you know, they're slightly different. You can learn how to do it as in rote learning, but then there's the immersive challenge, right? Of how do I actually use this thing called language? So there's been a few projects like that. Most recently at Daji High School, where I worked with the wonderful teacher there, Lin Xinmei, who created a fantastic experimental class, bringing in interdisciplinary learning. So we can get to that in a minute if you like. But previous to that, I actually had a business partner here, a Taiwanese business partner. We started up an entertainment little.
Yeah, he's actually been on the show.
Yeah.
Manu.
Yeah.
Manu Chen, yeah.
Yeah,
believe,
so
right, Chen?
we started up a little entertainment and event company, and did some great stuff. And then after that, I started to do a few of my own things here as well. So I unfortunately don't spend enough time here in Taiwan. I jump back over to Australia and jump into a lot of sort of musical national tours, which keeps it relevant for me as well in the professional world. You know, I want to know what's happening and be involved directly, so I can bring that knowledge back to Taiwan as well and implement it here if need be.
Yeah, I love that. And we were talking off air. Yeah, you're still, your love is still performing. And so you're staying relevant around the world with shows, and then you can bring that to Taiwan in between shows and act as an ambassador and a teacher. Really.
Yeah, that's a really good way.
That's
of putting
kind of
it.
how I look at you, and I love it because you're working now with some of our friends that have been on the show, David and Alice and Tim, with Crossroads, kind of and leading the arts and culture side of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. You know, I mean, Crossroads is a really, really great association. It's a not-for-profit organization. And they're really looking for engagement of Taiwan with the outside world on many different levels. You know, certainly at the moment with Tim and Alice in the Experimental University, fantastic project. For me, I, along with another number of other general members, head the arts and culture section. And for us, it's engagement through things like the bilingual project. And, you know, I'm really here to help develop performing arts in whatever way I can.
Yeah, man. And it's so cool. And that kind of leads into what you were doing. You were saying at Daji, like high school, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with incredible. I hope we can meet this teacher. Lin Xinmei.
Yeah.
And
she's great.
And you were essentially coming in and creating story development and character development with these high school students, and allowing them to explore body movement and presentation skills.
Absolutely,
and so cool.
They, you know, I really have to compliment the school itself for allowing such a class, taking the risk with such an experimental class. You know, Xinmei had designed a really great course for the first time, literally as an experiment, where they brought science, biology into the class, combined that with technology in the form of the students learning a software program called Tag Tool through iPad
Yeah, like an animation tool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool actually. Sort of the sky's the limit as far as whatever you can imagine, you can probably do on it. And they had projectors set up, projecting them onto the walls, and they created these characters through exploring viruses, which obviously at the moment is in everyone's minds, way too much, we would all say, I guess. And they actually not just COVID viruses, I should say bacteria, really, in general. Yeah. And so she created a class where the kids could find more interest and fun in the learning process and be more engaged, which is really important, right? And they created art inspired by the different looks of these different bacteria, and then applied characters to them through Japanese and Taiwanese mythology, and from there started to add characteristics to it, like superpowers and how do I move and how do I sound. So from there, that's when I was asked to come in and help develop characters, help the students understand how to develop their characters, and then we added a narrative to it, storytelling, and I sort of took them through some basic storytelling techniques, and from there we found a narrative, told a story, and presented it to the principal of the school, along with a number of the other teachers and some invited guests. Alice was one of them.
Okay, shout out Alice Ho, yeah.
Yeah.
got the whole crew.
So, yeah, it was, the kids were really engaged. They really risked in terms of expression, which is so important.
Yeah, 13 and 14-year-olds, right?
Yeah,
You're working
absolutely.
With?
Yeah,
oh, what a tough age, and they showed up for it. They tried.
They showed up. They put in, man.
That's incredible.
And that was really fantastic. I took them through some movement, which as you're saying, like you find the character in the body, and for a 13, 14-year-old, perhaps that's something that they're not too comfortable doing in front of other people. So they were really brave, very courageous in jumping in and just sort of, I sort of held the hand and said, hey, follow me, and they did, which was really great. And also just the fact that, they were asked to essentially storytell in English,
right?
Perform essentially in English, and given that opportunity to interact with the invited guests that we had as the audience, we had a little section of interaction with them as well in English too. So they did really fantastic work, very brave work.
Yeah.
节目上半段一开始这部分，我们这位来自澳洲的来宾谈到他当年在做歌剧魅影25周年纪念世界巡回演出的时候呢，体验到亚洲的美，觉得真是个好地方。那我们台湾又刚好很讨人喜欢，所以 Paul 就申请了政府颁给外国人的就业金卡，开始在台湾定居下来。那除了本业是做音乐剧表演以外，他对摇滚乐、对阿卡贝拉歌唱团和歌剧演唱的表演领域也都不陌生，甚至呢也担任过舞台剧和音乐剧的制作人跟艺术总监哦。就连政府最近几年在做的这个2030双语教育政策计划 Paul 也都有参与其中。好，真的就是之前我们介绍过的这个片语 to have a finger in every pie 最实际的例子，或者是也可以像这样刚才说的 so many hands or so many fingers in different pots。那另外他们刚才讲的这个 performing arts 就是我们常常在宽宏艺术啦，在国家音乐厅等艺术中心常会听到的这个表演艺术。好 performing arts。 其他像是音乐剧、歌剧、舞台剧的英文说法则是 musical, opera and theater。 好，那因为其实来宾他本来就一直很想帮台湾在表演艺术这块领域做更深入的发展，那因缘际会下又接触到政府倡导的这个2030双语政策，所以决定呢想办法来把两者做结合，打造一个英文为主的学习环境，来训练台湾学生的表演艺术技巧，帮大家打下扎实的基础。而且来宾他因为也常会在澳洲各地巡回表演，所以让在台湾上他课的学生呢都不用出国，就能够透过老师传授从海外带回来最新的表演技巧和圈内相关消息。更特别是什么你知道吗？ Paul 他也有跟之前节目介绍过的全球连结发展协会 Crossroads还有这个 XU 实验大学合作，共同策划文化艺术的双语课程。 那除此之外呢，他也和大直高中的老师合作指导双语实验课程，把生物和科学还有现代科技跟不同的故事角色做结合，让他们的学生呢可以在不一样的学习环境里体验到其他面向的学习方式，跟着老师练习在全英文的环境里面呢做各式各样的表达训练。哇，这种课程不要说是青少年，连我这种都想去上课了，这些学生真是很幸运。那这边刚才有一句很常见的片语来跟大家介绍一下， Sky's the limit， 字面上意思感觉好像是在说天空是我们的极限，好，对不对？那因为天空就是很高很遥远嘛，所以这片语它真正在表达的意思呢是没有极限，没有限制。好，常常会用在类似像创意无限的一个情境里，表达前途无量，一切呢皆有可能。好啦，那这段内容就先在这里告一段落，我们马上继续听下半段的分享。
I love it, and it's so cool. And it makes me think about kind of your journey around Taiwan is, you know, your passion really still is performing, and that really revolves around singing. Is that correct?
I think, in musicals, of course, you've got the three primary aspects of singing, acting, and dancing. In my professional world, yes, we do get kind of labeled, but that, you know, we have what we call the triple threat in musicals, which is essentially that you are highly skilled, if not, in quotes, expert, in all of those three fields. So, many stars are the triple threats, you know, like I think from Australia, we might think of Hugh Jackman,
right,
who coincidentally came from the same performing arts school that I did. But
shout out to Hugh.
Name drop, big name drop.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that makes sense with some of his recent movies. He's been performing in them as a singer,
singing,
and a dancer,
acting, and dancing. You know, so
so excuse me then. I didn't mean to disrespect that by just saying
not
you're
at
singing.
all, man.
I'm sorry.
No. The thing I was leading up to was that, certainly for me, you know, I've always been a singer, rock and roll bands, and you know this sort of thing. So, yes, I would be classified as a singer, actor, dancer.
Got it. You are the triple threat.
No.
Yes.
Oh, mate, if you saw my dancing, you might go, okay, Paul, sure. Yeah.
I love it. But so from what I've understood is you're kind of getting commissioned to go around Taiwan sometimes and perform. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, so, as a freelance artist, of course, you know, we look for the projects that we have a passion for, and at the same time, we have to balance actually earning a living.
Right.
That's life, right?
Yeah.
So, many of us would go into corporate work, for example. So, yes, on Sunday, I was down at Sun Moon Lake at one of the hotels there, and was performing at a company dinner. I brought in a Taiwanese singer, Lin Ziyin, who's a fantastic soprano singer, crossover musical theatre opera, and we created an hour show.
Oh wow! You're creating a full show. It's not like you're performing other.
Oh well, so it was a string of songs, some of them by request, some that were Mandarin, and some were Taiyu.
You're singing in Mandarin and in Taiyu? Doing your best anyway?
Doing my best.
That's beautiful. Oh my God.
So I learned a few songs and tried them out, and they were very understanding. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
They were very understanding of me. So I get commissioned or booked to come in and do that sort of stuff. But also, for example, like we referred to Crossroads, right? So I will come in, which for me is a volunteer situation and a passion for me that's, you know, directly related to helping Taiwan.
Yeah, and it's everyone listening out there, of course, you have to remember it's the balance of life, right? You need to still be supplemented and survive.
Absolutely.
And pay the bills.
Yeah.
But I love that you're, it's still your passion, is what you love, and it's also about the education side of helping bring up the arts side of Taiwan.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Cool. I love all that, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thanks, man.
And
appreciate it.
It's so beautiful what you're doing here, and if there's anything we can do to help, please feel free to reach out to us.
Much appreciated.
But thinking a little bit, we've kind of had a thread on this show with language, and as you said, it's a big part of your goal to kind of bring up the bilingual side of performing arts with Crossroads and just in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
So your own journey, though, with Mandarin. Can you take us on a fun little journey with that?
Well, right here and right now, I'm still a baby as far as my Mandarin goes.
You're very humble. That is what I love about you.
I think so. I'm not at conversational level even yet. And some would look at me and go, Paul, you've been coming in and out of Taiwan for 6 years now. What are you doing?
He's working.
I'm working, sorry. There's this funny phenomenon actually of, like I'll go away and do a musical tour for 6 months, 10 months, whatever, and come back. And people kind of automatically assume that your Mandarin level has gotten better because you've been away for so long. So you must have spent time. And look, part of it is me being lazy. Part of it is being too busy with other things. But I haven't fully committed, I think is probably the most honest way to put it, that in terms of learning the language, etc. But at the same time, for me, like I can live a very local life, and I generally do. I've got a local night market that I hang out with all of the guys there. My girlfriend and I live a very local life here. She's Taiwanese, and shout out to Jocelyn. And
shout out to Joss.
And so for me, especially if Jocelyn isn't around, you can go through that sort of live in your English speaking world bubble where you have to push yourself to get out of it. Of course, we all know that. Expect to feel awkward. And it's just the reverse of in the bilingual project, where anyone trying to learn English, that's Taiwanese, is going to feel awkward, right? And if we can get comfortable with that and go, it's okay to fail. It's okay to be wrong. I talk to students actually, and I talk about learning how to fail, is a good thing, because from that you can learn. And learn a lot quicker than you're always right. Yes,
yes. What a beautiful metaphor actually for life too.
Absolutely.
So I love that you're incorporating that into your teaching.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I do a lot of failing.
Same.
Like New Year's, right? We were talking before.
It was so beautiful. Yeah, can you share that? What you were up to on New Year's?
New Year's, I was at a local restaurant near our local night market, and everyone there, except for maybe one or two people, were non-English speaking. And these are people that I've known for a number of years, and they know my level of Mandarin. But although we cannot perhaps directly communicate and at a speed which is appropriate when you're both speaking the same language, combination of body language, bit of translation on an app on the phone, pointing to this or that, and my small vocabulary of Mandarin at the moment, we get through. And for them as well, it kind of gives them an opportunity to have a bit of a laugh trying out a few English words too. So that, that organic engagement.
Yes.
It's really, really essential for things like people getting used to speaking English. You've got to try, and you've got to get out there, right?
Yeah.
You've got to get out there.
Yeah, and I love it. And it's so true, because I love that you're doing that, and like you said, shout out to your partner, Jocelyn, and just having those organic encounters is so pure to me in what is humanity,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like just people trying to get along and just kind of get by, using the phone, using body language, and it's a performing art.
It actually is, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why I like engaging in this way organically, like it's the same way that we do on a stage.
The meta of it.
Live theatre, man. It's the same as life. It's a live theatre.
Well, Paul, it's a pleasure. I love what you're doing around the world and everything you're doing here, and I wish you so much success. And where can people where can they hear you singing and see you dancing and watch you act? Is there anywhere they can find you online or any of the socials?
Oh, look, I'm a terrible social person. I'm very old school at my age. Artist Paul Whiteley, I think it is. We can put it up later, if you like. Yeah, I am at the moment yet again about to leave the country and head back for a national tour of Mary Poppins in Australia.
Ooh, congratulations!
Thanks, man. So I'll have a whole bunch of new updated knowledge to come back and impart on the Taiwanese performing arts community. But yeah, at this point in time, I'd done a few of the educational engagements and was a bit low key coming back here at this point in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so certainly when this sort of concert stuff comes up again and I get it all in place, I'll be coming back to you, my friend John, and we'll have a chat.
Sharing the wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, much appreciated.
No doubt. Yeah, so find him probably anywhere online at Paul Whiteley.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend, Paul Whiteley. And, if anyone is interested in supporting more of the local arts around Taiwan, keep an eye. There's always international shows that are coming through. Cats just finished up having a wonderful tour here around the island, and I'm sure there'll be more that come through again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the wonderful things about Taiwan is how generally well we have handled this whole pandemic, and that provided the opportunity for shows to still come through. You know, so and at this point in time, if you're thirsting for live entertainment, where possible, get out there and support local artists. They need your patronage. And they have stories to tell. So
no doubt,
get out there and support.
Get out there and support. Well said. All right, Paul. Well, thank you for joining us on NG 英文, and we'll talk to you next time.
Nice to be here, John. Thanks so much, man.
下半段一开始，这里跟金刚狼休·杰克曼从同一间表演学院毕业的来宾 Paul 提到呢，在他们音乐剧演员的职业生涯里，涵盖了唱歌、演戏和舞蹈这3个层面。虽然可能有的人会对某个层面比较有兴趣，或是比较有发展，例如说想要自己虽然跟唱歌和摇滚乐团常常有接触，但专业上来讲都是能唱能跳能演的3项全能演员。那也因为3项全能，让自由表演的 Paul 能够呢依照兴趣接演出机会，朝任何一个自己有兴趣的方向领域去发展。像前几天就有在某公司的那个晚宴上啊，跟另外一名台湾女高音合作演出，而且厉害的是他还信我们国语跟台语唱哦，真的是很值得敬佩，勇气可嘉。因为虽然他在台湾的时间也有好几年了，但还是不太能够用中文跟人家沟通。但是这也都不是问题哦，没在怕的，他一样用中文演唱，让底下观众可以听懂熟悉的母语。这段的2个字大家来听一下，刚才说的这个3项全能，它的说法不要跟铁人三项 triathlon 搞混哦。音乐剧能唱能跳能演3项全能，我们说 triple threat。 女高音的话呢，可以说 soprano。另外刚才他们在讲到学中文，讲到要勇敢面对尴尬练习开口说的时候，提到我们不管是在学语言还是学表演，都要 learn how to fail。 好，要学着去失败，去面对失败，因为失败中有我们太多可以学习的经验，也才会让下一次的尝试有所进步。像之前有一次他跟朋友在吃饭，那现场大家都是讲英文的，只有2位他多年的好友是讲中文，所以他的2位朋友就势必是要突破窘境说英文嘛，不管是用手机翻译还是比手画脚，都让他们能够在那样的环境里自然的参与其中，进而学习。甚至呢，像这样说的，也算是这个表演艺术的一种。好，这部分刚才他们用到了这个字 organic，不晓得大家有没有抓到它的意思。它在这边呢，不是一般大家讲的天然有机哦，而是呢在延伸表达那种天然，表达自然的意思。所以像他们刚刚说，不管是 organic encounter、organic engagement， 都是在表达一种自然形成的学习环境。好啦，希望大家都有从这一次的内容学到一些东西。那之后来宾他很快就要出去巡回演出，但是回来之后，大家如果有兴趣的话，可以搜寻保罗·怀特利 Paul Whiteley 他的相关表演资讯，或者是我们台湾当地表演者的演出，也是很值得一看哦。
Bye everyone. Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG 英文 show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG 英文, or you can search on IG, NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7, and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.